A top U.S. official, an intelligence official, just said we are way behind when it comes to technological warfare, when it comes to missilery, when it comes to how we can defend ourselves against Chinese war. So why in the world are we pushing the button basically to prod the bear when it comes to Russia and China when they're so close together, when they're becoming closer friends and allies? We'll talk about that. Not only that, what are Latinos saying about this migrant crisis? You're going to be so surprised by what they're saying. The true legal Latinos and what they're saying about this migrant issue. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how there's a bar association that anyone associating with Trump, they will not allow them to practice law anymore. They want to disbar them. So really, does Trump have a chance if all of a sudden he keeps going through more lawfare, more lawfare, more lawfare, when everybody's getting disbarred around him or getting persecuted to just be his friend? Let's talk about that today. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. We are under a tree because we're hoping we can keep the rain off of you for a little bit. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That helps us so much to spread our message across this platform. So thank you for that. And again, comment below. Tell us what you think about some of these stories. Because again, a lot of times what we do, when we talk about prepping and we talk about current events, when we talk about news, our goal is to talk about things that are not getting touched as much and things that we should know because it deals with maybe safety, dealing with our family, dealing with sustainability or independence. So help gain some wisdom for each other by sharing your comments below and your thoughts on it. Now let's jump into these three stories. Number one, let's talk about China first. There's a new report that shows that intelligence officers and top military officials are saying we're way behind when it comes to building our technology to basically emulate what China's already built. They are building missilery and they're building things that we cannot control and we cannot sustain. We cannot defend against. So then I come back and say, well, if that's the case, then why are we spending all our money to send all our goods over to other countries when we should be worried about defense of, a relationship that just in case China decided to come towards America, we couldn't stop and defend? If we can't stop and defend, what are we doing defending other countries when we're the ones supposed to be taking care of ourselves and our own people? It's amazing that we use our tax dollars to help fund another country's safety when we're not even defending ours compared to, of course, the border. But now we're coming out with intelligence officials saying their technology is way more advanced than we can even face. They said they're months ahead of the curve when it comes to technology and the fact of supersonic missiles. We can't defend that. And then also we can't have an offensive against their defense. They've become a strong adversarial relationship. And what's so crazy is here we are still prodding them, not only in Russia and their relationship with China, but also with Taiwan. So should we be worried about this? Let's dive a little deeper in this story. It says the U.S. military is still months behind this hypersonic missile program. The GAO office said that they are behind when it comes to China. Said we cannot catch up to their technology. Hypersonic missiles are capable of taking evasive measures in mid-flight, moving to speeds of 7,000 miles per hour, 5 times the speed of sound. Already plagued by delays, the U.S. Army will not likely be able to make the first ever hypersonic missile to combat ready for fiscal year 2025. The U.S. official that's in intelligence says previously that we warned you that China is the leading of the pack when it comes to terms of hypersonic capabilities. And the U.S. struggles with these kind of programs and cannot be operational to defend or to even come close to what China has already done. We've been hit by too many delays. Over the past 2 decades, China has dramatically advanced the development of conventional and nuclear armed hypersonic missiles. Compared to their focus being on China, our focus has been on world. Now think about that, because we have focused our eyes and our politicians has focused our efforts on everybody else in a policing style of world. China has been implementing a stronger army, military, and also building up their navy. Have you seen their navy? Also now they're hypersonic missiles that we can't defend against. This is a big problem. Now, is this a spoof to say, well, they're probably just saying that because they want to invest more in defense and invest more in spending. Well, if we're going to invest more in spending to protect our own border and protect our own defenses, that may be wise. But we also just gave $200 billion to Ukraine. That would make me think that most politicians are basically side hustling their way and getting their pockets filled by defense contractors who are basically defending other countries instead of worrying about our own. I think we need to be focused back on home, especially when the fact that, China has already proven that they are stronger when it comes to cyber, technological, and now warfare. This is a big problem, and I think we're going to face the problem head on if we don't watch it, especially when we have a weak leader like Biden. It says the Pentagon has poured $12 billion into hypersonic development across various military branches since 2018. Listen to this though, but still has yet to field a single weapon. So we have spent $12 billion to actually not build anything since 2018. I think there should be a lot more accountability when it comes to what the government is spending money on, but also especially when it comes to spending money across the seas and abroad when we need to be building more capabilities here. $200 billion to Ukraine, but we've spent $12 billion on our own defense when it comes to hypersonic missiles and defending them. That's kind of stupid, I would think, especially if we're wanting a free, sovereign country that is safe from other big world players. Second headline that I think that is so important, and we've heard this when it comes to Giuliani, Navarro, and Bannon, and all these people and all these lawyers that's been disbarred because they've had dealings with Trump. Listen to this. Connecticut Bar Association issues warning to lawyers who speak out against Trump's prosecution. And now you're seeing other liberal states do the same thing. What they're saying is if you speak against maybe even some frivolous lawsuits, are you speaking against frivolous lawfare, you can be disbarred where you can't practice law. So they're taking not only the right of Trump having a representation that's not just given to him that could care less, they're also taking the fact that if you choose to represent him, your freedom of speech, your rights as a lawyer may be taken away too. You don't believe this is happening? Think of Bannon, Navarro, Giuliani. Think of all the other lawyers that's been disbarred. You can go back and look at the news cycles of how they've been destroyed. That's why he's had to get so many new lawyers, because they've destroyed their reputations as lawyers. Now what's actually happening is you're seeing a liberal push against representation for Trump, but not only that, you're seeing silencing of these same attorneys. So some of the best attorneys that Trump can pay for, he can't actually get because they're scared to death to be silenced and to be taken advantage of as well. So this is a big deal. You need to pay attention to this. Jonathan Turley, which is one of the most outspoken constitutional lawyers against all the bad lawfare that's been against Trump, he said, "We call the CBA's rebuke very chilling," and said that Trump's conviction in New York was a flagrant example of such weaponization of the legal system and should be denounced by all lawyers. However, the more they prosecute lawyers for this, the more people will not open their mouths. For those lawyers who view such prosecution as political, they are speaking out against defense and what believes is a recklessness of the American judicial system. What is reckless, though, is actually the fact that CBA, which is the Connecticut Bar Association, thinks that they have rights to destroy your own freedom of speech. Not only Trump's losing his way of speaking, lawyers may be too, especially when the threat of being disbarred, their livelihood taken away. And lastly, I think it's a very positive story when it comes to Trump, but not only that, just the fact of conservatism when we talk about closing the border. It says majority of Hispanics favor deporting all, quote unquote, all illegal immigrants in this last poll. It says the outright majority of Hispanic Americans are in favor of mass deportation, that they say that they need to go back to their countries. Why? Because these people gave all to be here. They spent years into the system trying to gain citizenship, and they're saying it is unfair that we're living in a time where they can come over here and get everything for free when we had to work for it, and also take years to get this citizenship. It says 53% of Hispanic adults approve of this new national program of getting deported all of the undocumented immigrants because it's unfair to them, especially when they have given so much to be here. In total, 62 respondents favored deporting all illegal immigrants, including majority men, women, independents, conservatives, moderates. It does not matter. All should be deported no matter what their political affiliation is and their societal embraces, meaning are they children, are they husbands, are they wives, are they men? Either way, if they came here legally, they should be sent back. Only 29% of Hispanics agree how President Joe Biden is handling immigration. So they're saying of this poll, 29% say Joe Biden is doing a good job when it comes to with Hispanics when it comes to illegal immigration. Their thoughts on the whole movement of this border issue. Over 60% of Latinos, of Hispanics, are saying, look, they need to all go back. That is very, very good news when it comes to the conservative movement as a whole, especially down ballot when it comes to Texas and some of these border states, and Trump as well. It's also helping Trump win favor with African Americans, with Latino voters. It's allowing him to get that extra push because people are seeing the dangers of it. The suburbs are having crime-ridden streets, and it's not just because of migrant issues, but that has a lot to do with it. So people are saying, wait, now you're hurting my family. I can't even go on the streets because there's big tent cities or there's big migrant homes. People are starting to say enough is enough. Even the Hispanic population of America. All right, guys, give me your thoughts on these three stories. One, of course, is absolutely terrifying when it comes to Chinese technological ways to maybe manipulate our own defense and also to be stronger when it comes to lawfare, to warfare. Not that I want to go to war, but the fact is we should be able to defend ourselves and not worry about other countries first. Once we defend ourselves and protect Americans, then, hey, we can do other things for other countries, but we have to get our house in order first. Secondly, it's unfair that Trump is not getting really represented well. He's been under gag orders, he's been persecuted, but it actually is playing in his favor. I understand that. But it's unfair for the lawyers not to have a chance to represent their own client and also speak out. This Connecticut Bar Association, I think you're going to see it with New York, which we've already seen a little bit of it, California, Washington, all these other states, and they're going to make it where Trump cannot defend himself against all of this lawfare because of all these lawyers who are scared to death to have their own rights taken away just to be associated with someone. That is a wrong approach, especially when lawyers can represent the scum of the earth, literally murderers and terrorists, but then they can still have their bar access and still have all the freedoms that they want. But when they try to defend Trump, no, dangerous. That is a bad precedent we're setting. But, good news, the fact that even people are waking up, even the Hispanics are waking up saying this border policy that Biden's doing, nobody agrees with. It's time for a change, and enough is enough. We've worked hard to get here. Everybody else should be doing the same. It's encouraging. Guys, let me know your thoughts on these stories. Again, we appreciate you watching us. We humbly ask again that you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and help us spread our message across this platform. Thank you, guys. God bless.